means which resources we get it from nature, that is natural resources. So the natural resources, we'll go next slide. So any material that can be transformed into a valuable and useful term, then it will call as a resources. So natural resources that can drawn from nature, is which we get from nature and used with few modifications, that is called as resource. Uh, in other words, it is possible to obtain valuable items from any sources. So it may be anything, any sources which we get directly from the natural also is called as a valuable item which we get it directly for usage is also called as a resource. Resource therefore a means to attain given ends. The aspect of satisfaction is so important that so that we consider a thing of substance a resource. So whatever resource we get, whatever we get it, is the aspect of satisfaction. We are satisfied with that. It is so important. So then it can be considered as a resource. So as long it meets our needs. And so life of life of in this planet depends upon a large number of things and services provided by nature. So that is called as natural. So as before we said, natural resources are the resource which we get from the nature. It may be used directly or which can be changed or drawn in, means can change the form into a valuable thing. So we get water, air, soil, minerals, coals, forest, life, wild animals, a lot of things are examples for natural resources. The problem associated with the natural resources, the main the unequal conception of natural resources. So the earth is a planet for everyone, it is not for one particular group of organisms. We have a lot of organisms living in the earth. So we human are using more area for our purpose. That is like we are cutting the trees. The tree is a home for many birds. Forest is a home for wild animals. We are cutting them down for the purpose. So unequal consumption of natural resources. Planning land use. So the land use which I use, the land which we are using, we are not planning accordingly. So we have law. We are taking the forest land also. We are taking the pond also. We are taking the lake also for our purpose, for building our thing. And the need of sustainable lifestyles. We don't have a sustainable, we don't have an equal same lifestyle. We have a different lifestyle which depends on the things. So here we may which makes a pollutions and all these things which makes out of that. And the main thing is deforestation, as already deforestation is a main natural problem, natural resources problem. Other than that, ozone depletion, oil depletion, soil erosion, greenhouse gas increase. So these are some problems associated with natural resources. It is natural resources is for our use, but we should not use it in a different thing. It's like we should not make it a negative one for our thing. So next one is classification of resources. The classification of resources it is classified into two different types. One is renewable and non-renewable. As the name says, it's renewable. So reusable. So it is a renewable or reusable. We can recycle it and we can use it, or we can directly reuse the thing. It can many times we can use it. That is a renewable. There is no any limit for renewable. And this is called as renewable. So this can be generated again and again. This natural resource can be generated again and again. For example, we'll say sunlight, water, wood. These things are recycling themselves and they are reusable. So next is renewable. That simply we can say is use and throw. It can be used only a very small time. Maybe some things may be used only for one time. Some can be used maybe 3 or 4 times. So like that it is divided. So non-renewable means which cannot be renewed or which cannot be recycled, which cannot be reused. This is what. So which exhaust after their frequent usage, means maybe that's what we just maybe 1 or 2 uses. For example, we say coal. Coal is a best example for the renewable, non-renewable thing, which will burn and it will cannot be, they are limited, which we cannot be recycled again. Right? Coal cannot be recycled again. And there are so it's a some items in this non-renewable, we have a high demand properties, means articles, means resources, we will have it. In non-renewable we have high demand resources are being in that, but we have only lesser availability. This is a thing about non-renewable. So next we'll see differences between renewable and non-renewable resources. Non-renewable, it is reusable, again the same thing only. It can be reused, renewed, as it is available in infinitive quantity. Non-renewable only once consumed, once, or how limited stock. It may be a limited stock and limited usage will be there for non-renewable. It's sustained in nature. It is a sustainable. It is already in the nature, which is like sunlight. It is already in nature. It sunsets in every evening 5 or 6 o'clock, and morning sun rises in every. We are using every day. There is no any particular time or sense like that for it, or usage. There is no any usage thing. The same way, it is already in the nature. This is exhaustible in nature. That is, for example, you can say gold. Not only gold, diamond, these are very costly because the quantity in the resource of resource is very less and they have a high demand. So next one is low cost and environmental friendly. So it will never hurt anything. So, and it's already there. Lot of sunlight is lot there, so you don't need to pay for that. Oxygen is there. We don't need to pay for it. So it's low cost and environment friendly. It will not make any, if we, for example, oxygen, we are inhaling oxygen and exhaling the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is being inhaled by the trees, so there is no any harm for that. Maybe the same way they will never, each things which will renewable are very eco-friendly. And when it comes to the non-renewable, it is high cost and less environmental friendly. High cost, the demand is more and availability is less, so that's the reason it is a high cost thing. And this is the economic, which we already studied in economics. And we have, it's a less environmental friendly. In the coal, it creates pollution. The same way gold mines are becoming less, and same things, these are the not environmentally friendly. Replenish quickly, so it will again reap. It will again it will produce very fast, it will be produced. This one we cannot produce it. Non-renewable cannot be. For example, that is Kolar gold fields, it is KGF, where they were not able to take gold for past so many years because of it is not producing much. So these are the examples for differences between the renewable and non-renewable. Then next we go with important of natural important natural resources. Important natural resources, there's n number. We have given only few here, like air, water, soil, iron, and forest. We have coal, so petroleum, minerals, gas, nuclear power, iron, copper, plants, solar energy. So lot are there as a thing which we have in the sunlight. So these are the natural resources where it can, and water we have already, air we have given, water we have given. So these are the importance of important type of natural resources. And So air, we are using air. Air of we are using means air, we have not only we are inhaling and exhaling, it is used for wind energy also. So wind energy, electricity is produced through the wind energy in certain places. So it is also used in where has been used. Water energy, which is very important for our day-to-day life. So every human being needs of water. So not only human being, all the work have to be done. Agriculture also, we need water. So all these things carry on with the water. And next is soil. Soil is for agricultural purpose. So soil we need for cultivation and for growing a food product. So we every day we need food. So we need, if we need food, we need cultivation. So that is the reason of soil. Iron. Iron has been used, means we get it from a nature thing for steel iron items and all these things. Forest is where it provides us food, timber, fuel, and all this shelter for many animals. And the same way, sunlight gives us a light energy as well as a solar energy also. So this is the thing. And go to the next slide. So resources can be classified into biotic and abiotic resources. So what is biotic? Biotic. So we have two factors. Biotic factors, living things which within a ecosystem. So such as plants, animals, bacteria. These are the thing which lives in the biotic resources. Abiotic are non-living components, water, soil, atmosphere. So biotic is a organic matter. It's a living thing. And abiotic is a climate or means non-living things like sunlight, temperature. We know it, but we cannot understand it. For that thing, simply biotic means living things. Abiotic means non-living things. So other than that, we have a case studies here. Jugum cultivation. So it's a most ancient system of farming. Juga cultivation is one of the most ancient system of farming, which is before Christ, that is BC, 7000 BC, Neolithic period. And so this is the first step which we taken for gathering of food and to give it to someone other than that. Well, it is usually the preferred from for the places. It's like Jugam is a cultivation which practices consider a mainstay of food production and considerable population. So here that states comes with the Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Manipur make this Jugam cultivation. And Chipko movement is also another which has been there. It's 1973 Himalayan. It's a forest conservation movement. Actually, the Chipko movement is a forest conservation movement. So it is a movement originated in 1973 in the Himalayan regions of Uttarakhand. And Western Himalayan regions is also a production of food, web greenery, the same way like snow is also there. Four or five tributaries of Indus River. So Indus River, Punjab, it comes under the Western Himalayan region. So there is also a cultivation land. These are the things. Comes to the next thing, forest resources. So forest resources is another another important thing. So in forest resources, many part is covered with the forest of with the earth is covered with the for water and greenery. So forests are very important and grow in many places around the world. Many animals need forests to live and survive. the area. They are an ecosystem which includes many plants and animals. So it's an ecosystem. Forest is, as said, it's very important part because we need to live means we need forest. That is very important. As and when plants are there, trees are there, we'll get oxygen, rainfall. It's a part of an ecosystem. So other than that, those it is includes recreation, soil, timber, everything we get it from wildlife. That is all. Look, we get it from forest. Forest means those natural assets of forest lands, including timber and other forest crops. Biological diversity, recreation, fish and wildlife habit, wilderness, and distinct flora and fauna. Air, water, soil, climate, and educational, aesthetic, and historic values. So there are different types of forest resources: tropical, dry deciduous, tropical moist deciduous, tropical green evergreen, tropical semi-evergreen, tropical rainforest, subtropical forest, temperature broad-leaved frog forest, temperature conifer forest. So there's a lot of different types of forests, which is very important. It's cannot be forest cannot be underestimated because we get a lot of things from forest. We need forest for our survival. That's a very important. We if a forest is there, we need to we can survive. So wood, without wood we cannot do anything. Means maybe like a door we need wood. We need for table we need wood. For pencil we need wood. For home, a lot of home organisms are living, believing the forest. So forest is a main resources which is very important. The next comes with mineral resources. So minerals as always is a natural resources which we get it from our nature. So mineral resources are among them most important natural resources that determine a country's industrial and economic growth. So depending on how wealth, means how many minerals are available in our country, the country is economically growth country or developed country, whatever you can say. So India is a very mineral full country. We have a lot of natural resources falling in our country. That's the reason we were under the British also one period of time. Anyway, by supplying raw materials to economics primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. So other than that, we have minerals. We'll get it from it's a concentration and occurrence quantity we are getting means we don't have any specified quantity. If a place, state or country is having a abundant thing, then that can be a wealthy country. Will be described it as a wealthy country. This raw materials can be supplied in a primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. And the next just comes with the food resources. Food is an as we all live for food, right? Food is a very important resource, so basic need of a man or a person. So food is an essential requirement for survival of life. Many components are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins are there. So we have in our food we need it's a balanced food. If we have carbohydrate, fat, proteins, minerals, and vitamins, then it's a balanced diet food. So it's very good for our development, our body development, our growth, our health. If we have a good food, we'll have a healthy life. So this thing, and we not only take the plants, we eat plants as well as animals, but human is made for the plants actually. Both plants and animals are the major source of our food forms. We obtain most of the food from agriculture and animal husbandry. So we Eat means when morning we eat idli, dosa, whatever it is made up of rice or dal and all these things. These are comes from our all afternoon lunch rice, maybe chapati, whatever food we are having, it is everything's come from a plant means it's in through agricultural. And when we have the non-vegetarian, maybe on not on non-vegetarian, you take a milk is an comes from an animal, egg, chicken, whatever it is, it's come from an animal. So we have a domestic animals plant farmings lot of people are doing in the, and which has been recycled. That's waste has been taken to the agriculture as a fertilizers. So animal husbandry is also the main thing. One more thing is main food sources are, we have, as I already said, we used to have rice, wheat, maize. So all these we get it from the agriculture, and other than that we get vegetables and fruits. So includes uh, and then we have animals like cow, goat, pig, camel, hen. These are also food production channel. And when it comes to milk, it's a calcium. Calcium provides bones and teeth with a stability and endurance. It also aids in blood circulation, enzyme regulation, nervous system processing of signals, etc. In the transportation of oxygen from the lungs to other parts of the body need iron. So every part of every food have a its own energy. So all these things we need to take it. Now when it comes to the food resources, we get all these from the natural resource, that is crop agriculture and the family family thing, sorry, animal husbandry. So next goes with the energy resources. Energy resources can be defined as a capacity, procedure and effect to do some work. So we need energy. So without energy we cannot do any work. But here the energy resource is meant to the energy resource is meant with the human thing. But when it comes to a thing is, energy is different. For the we have a nuclear energy which is very important, because a country's growth has been calculated from these things. So electrical energy we have, and that is like, these all comes under the energy pattern. So energy is one of the most important building blocks of human life on earth and economic development of the country. The demand of energy resources are increasing day by day in the development of industries, transportation and agricultural activities. So now the energy is different. So it's a part of our country's economic and development. This when it comes to energy, without energy you cannot live now. We need electricity. So electricity is produced from the energy. So it may be wind energy, it may be solar energy, it may be water energy. So we have three energy different departments, which from the nature we are getting. Wind is we getting from a nature, water we are getting from the nature, solar energy is getting from a sun is a nature. So like that we are getting all these things also from the nature. So nature is also depends on the natural things. And when we have more resources, a country has been called as a economic developed country. Energy so other than that we have fuel energy and other for conservation process. So like fossils, nuclear, so all these comes under the energy. Fossil energy resource obtained from the dead plants and animal deposits. So once it has been died animals or the plants, that fossils has been collected and the energy has been formed. This has been used for the natural gas or for oil or for coal. All these things, the fossil energy has been used. So in the starting we see renewable energy, so it's a part of a renewable energy. Fossil energy. And other than that, we have renewable energy. Renewable energy, plants fuel. Plant fuels such as wood traditionally have been used throughout history. Mostly heating gives us the oil. Some oils, sandalwood oil, through heating sandalwood you will get a oil. So these are the things you will get it. That's a renewable energy. Nuclear energy, we all know it's a nuclear things which we get it from our nature, which is very popular name as of now. So next is land resources. A land resources refers to the land available for exploitation. No, like non-agricultural lands for building, developing townships. The more a country is able to locate and the use of raw materials, the more the industrialization of the country or a country area, etc. So here we have four different land resources: iron, coal, diamond, and oil and gold. So we have iron, coal, diamond, oil, and gold. So these are the five land resources. The next we'll go with the role of individual conservation of natural resources. So here we have conservation of energy, conservation of soil, conservation of food resources, conservation of forest. So these are the how to how to conserve a what's the role of conservating the earth thing. So the measure of conserve forest is to save trees and to plant new trees. So that's a conservation of these things. Forest, food resources, we need to take care of thing. So like we need to use a minimum of energies. We should not waste the food energy. Food resources is not to waste your food. Try to how much quantity you want, you buy it, you use it. Don't waste your, so you can conserve. So that part which you're wasting may be the other person's food. So there their quantity of food will be less. So rather than soil erosion, if you plant the trees properly, you will get a, you can control the soil erosion. So this is what this one food and try energy in level also. There's a using our energy. Fuel, it may be fuel is a natural energy. As now the petrol rate is also increasing, so as much as how can reduce our usage, we can reduce it. Electricity, maybe electricity. So if you want to switch on the fan, means if you are sitting in the place, switch on the fan or AC or whatever. If not, switch off and leave the place light the same way. So then the energy level will be, usage will be decreased, and so it can be conserved. So next is equitable use of resources and sustainable lifestyle. The global consensus has to be reached for balanced distribution of natural resources, for equitable use of natural resources. More developed the countries, rich people have to lower down the level of consumption to bear the minimum. So what is, if you have money you can use it. So I have money, so I'll pay the electricity bill, so I will use it. So it is not the way. So it may be the other people also, let the other people also use it. So if you minimize, if you don't waste it, then become a other person's usage. So that is what this one. Scarcity, the scarcity is another important. If you don't use it properly, then we'll go with the scarcity of things. So there, that's the thing. So if you want, if you have money, you will use it, or else I don't want, if people is poor, then they should not use it. This should be changed. How it can be changed? By a lifestyle. So if you want, eat your food. Don't don't waste the food, don't waste the energy level, don't when you're taking out a plant, if you're cutting down a tree, just try to plant another plant nearby, not the same place, nearby, somewhere nearby to you, you can plant it. Resource equity is allocation and the use of resource, people, time, and money to create a stud experience that enable all children to reach empowering, rigorous learning outcomes no matter their race or income. When we say equitable, we do not mean that where every individual students get the same thing. So not only in the home, every wherever you can, not in the school or college or wherever you want, you are going, try to use the energy allocated to you, and you use your things as how much you want, it will reach to everyone. So everyone, not only you, the other people can also use it. So thank you.